As young leaders, it is hard to know when you are correct. It is hard to know how to go about balancing the whole damn thing because so many other people will tell you, hey, there is no balance. You must commit 100% of the time. You must persist. You must pursue. You should. And forming your own philosophy on how to live a beautiful life, I believe, is an important part of living a beautiful life. Because if we always keep changing our perspective based on what other people think or based on what other people do, this can be hard for us to go down a line that we actually appreciate. I say this because my name's Tarab and I make videos about emotional intelligence every day, and hopefully we can talk together a little bit about balancing the working hard shit and just the chilling with the family and going with the flow shit. If you watch these videos, you probably came across an old man with a cowboy hat who talks about life and pursuits and really a lot of the stuff I talk about. Some creek, and I apologize for not knowing your name, wise man, but I will one day, and hopefully I'll link it below. But he said that it's good to sit around, to dwell in your space, to build yourself up as a human being, but that the role of a man, in quotations, which I substitute for the role of anyone looking to be a pillar in their community, is to be there, is to serve, genuinely. And one of the reasons I started Terabify was because, first of all, I know how many people bash on powerful individuals, claiming that what the hell did they do for society? What the hell did Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk do for the average individual? And so in my naivete, I was like, you know what? I'm going to give back constantly. The entire time of me becoming the person that I want to be, I want to document the process so that it's accessible to the next person that decides to become everything they can be in this life. So as part of the process, you will discover that sacrifices are necessary to pursue your goals, your aspirations in life. But also kind of giving in. There is the mastery of self, discipline, consistently push to fill every moment of your day, to believe that your persistence, your wherewithal will pay off with enough time, with enough effort, with enough repetitions. That part, arguably, is a lot easier than giving in. Mainly because that part is so easily learnable. Like if you feel like you're not disciplined to some capacity, or not as disciplined as you wish you were, I promise you, go read Atomic Habits and work at like 2 to 3 things every day for 2 months, and you will understand what it means to be disciplined. The beginning of what it means to be disciplined. And I say that as someone that has tried it. And I say that as someone that was in the past not very disciplined. And even sometimes now I'm not very disciplined. But I'd like to think I always knew how to enjoy life. To give in. I think it's an important part of pursuing this greatness in yourself. To know why you're doing it. And the green light's still on, so we're still recording. Hell yeah. While you're still doing it. Because it's going to be very hard to convince yourself to keep doing it if you cannot every once in a while bask in the payoff. Bask in the deliverance of your efforts, of your philosophies. So I encourage you that if you find yourself in a situation where you're saying no a lot, and you know why you're saying no a lot, to every now and then still give in, to the stuff. Give in to your heart. Be of service in the moment when someone really needs you. And this is again coming from someone that is on the journey of understanding whether or not my philosophy is universally applicable, even in my own life, in my own universe. I'm a firm believer in trying to live life like you can die tomorrow. And I don't see myself ever being able to say that if I didn't spend a portion of the day genuinely in service of other people. Genuinely in service of love or just the various little things in life. I don't think I could say that I can die tomorrow if I don't do that. So perhaps it goes to show that the original philosophy of every day is a lifetime. My original philosophy of every day is a lifetime, although I probably copped it from someone else, as we usually do, is still requires giving in. Doing the shit, giving in. Yeah. Let's see how much I can pull out of here. Nice. And I think a lot of people struggle with this thing in one way or another in life. The most prolific, successful people and the ones that just hate themselves. I think every extreme in particular probably suffers with this more than people that are kind of in the middle. Because it's hard to know. Part of what makes life beautiful is it's almost impossible to know exactly what to do at every moment. But our intuition, trusting ourselves, loving ourselves enough, I feel like is part of the answer. Fine, pursue the beautiful things, pursue the nth degree, pursue the greatness within you. But don't have too much of an ego to be able to learn, to be able to not learn from a hypocrite, or from a broken wall, or from someone that you might deem insignificant in your life. If life is trying to teach you something, be present. And that's personifying life, but we're learning all the time. Our brains are incredibly complex machines, complex organic, just absolutely beautiful things. And I think a lot of us, me in particular, I've lost sight sometimes of how much of a child I still am, how much I am allowed to suffer, and how much I am allowed to be wrong and learn, and to be emotional, and to not always try to be logical about the things that I do. Certainly a lot easier said than done for me in particular. Perhaps you fall more on the logical end of this, or the emotional end of the spectrum, and you find it difficult to get away from your emotions. But I say try them both. Know them both. Know their place in your life. And try to constantly teach yourself new things or learn new things from the world. Don't get stuck in a philosophy too early. You know? When I say these things, I think particularly of Adam Grant. His book Think Again was like the second book or something I read in my book club. And he talked a lot about trying to change world views and trying to go against kind of some of the set in stone beliefs that we have in order to grow as people, in order to probably love life more, in a sense. I found that most of the time when I'm being an asshole to someone, or when I'm not all that grateful for the things that I want or have, is when I'm most stuck in my philosophy. The philosophy, at least, of being incredibly productive and valuing half an hours of the day, and having such a far sight and such a strategic sight that it makes things that are right in front of my face sometimes, things that could be incredibly astonishingly beautiful, lackluster. And I've been told I'm really hard on myself, and I think a lot of us that kind of vibe with these types of messages are kind of hard on ourselves, and is why we're looking for something in us, or why we're looking for so many answers all the time. Because we're sensitive creatures. You know, catalysts in society must be sensitive in order to catalyze, in order to give a shit about actually trying to change things. And that necessarily comes with times where we know we dropped the ball, or that we know we may have not seen all the beauty there. And there will be infinite of these moments, hopefully. I suppose to a degree, when we persist and when we're so routine and so far-sighted that we begin to take days for granted to a degree, because we're like, oh yeah, well obviously I'm just going to keep doing this, and then eventually it's going to pay off. But then, what if it does? What if you die, and you did all this work and became this human being, and you never got the payoff? Well, I'm here to say to you, you choose when the fucking payoff is. You choose when to be mindful and when to be loving and when to go on an adventure, and you know. And in the process of doing that, hopefully we become more well-rounded, more loving to ourselves, and thus to other people, the things we care about, deeper in our initiatives. Let me know if you've gone through something like this before, where you realize that perhaps everything that you hear online about productivity, or everything that you hear from people that are pursuing these money-oriented goals, if there are quiet moments in life that make you question their philosophies. I think it's very important to question. This is not to say that from this point on I will miraculously become a lot less disciplined or not pursue all the great things that I want to do in life, or at least in my mind, that whatever is great. But it is to say that I need to be more kind to myself. And that's one of the hardest things to do in life. For me. Just celebrating your victory is part of it. So hopefully you found this interesting. I added another little layer to this here painting. Somewhere on the screen is going to be the last video I've done on this painting, if you want to see the progression of it. And I'll just keep going, keep on chugging along. I've also been making a series on Khalil Gibran, my ethereal friend, whose soul I hope watches over all those who read his books. So I'm gonna go make that video now. Hopefully you enjoyed this. If you did, smash that thumbs up button, subscribe. I make stuff like this every day, and it will be changing over time, I guarantee you. The idea is to inspire people to live the life that they want to live. Not the life that I live, but genuinely the life that you want to live. And hopefully seeing this process and these discussions allows you to reconcile some of your own philosophies. Actualize your potential catalyst. This world needs you. Take care.